All right, guys, what is going on? Andres here, back at it again with another video. I was on my camera right there, however, decided to die on me. So I probably didn't charge the battery correctly. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about my whole radio setup here. I know a couple of you guys had a couple questions. You know, what amp should you use? What radio? You know, how do you have things set up? Man, this passenger seat is kind of weird to sit on. I don't know if you guys ever sat in your passenger seat, but it's always a little weird. So look, it's gonna be really quick. I'm gonna just try to be like 5 minutes or so. In the video that I had on the camera, I got to show you the Bluetooth and things like that. Now this is a 2009 Acura MDX. If you're just tuning into my station here, you know it's basically a base model, as you can see. Doesn't come with GPS, no navigation, none of none of that crazy good stuff. Not tech package, not a sport package. Basic stuff, man. Date and time, and that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is pretty good. Sunroof, it's an Acura, so it's not a bad car. This, however, is an Ionin 10.1 inch touchscreen tablet radio. All right, and I sat over here because I wanted to show you guys the kit. This is the aftermarket kit for the 09 MDX. This is probably for 2007 to 2013. Basically a second gen MDX. The reason I purchased this radio and not just like some regular aftermarket double din like a Pioneer or an Alpine, one, because I really wanted a tablet style radio, and two, it was cheaper. It was $160. However, compared to $1,000 Alpine to this, it obviously does not perform the way a $1,000 Alpine should. As you can see, you saw how long it took to get up and ready. Now, let's see. Let's try something. All right. Shit, that's loud. But if you see, I'm gonna show you this. This is you see. It takes a little bit to like kind of recognize your fingers that you're trying to raise the volume, and then when you start playing the radio, you start playing the audio, it'll cut off for about 2-3 seconds and then come right back on. It's kind of weird. Please don't ask me why it does that. I don't know. I have a double din radio downstairs in a closet that I've had for over 10 years, and if I had a choice, if I had to choose whether to do this one or that, I would go to that. Obviously, this one's in the car already. I didn't know it was going to act that way or perform this way when I purchased it, so obviously I'm just keeping it. One of the main reasons I purchased it was because it's a tablet. You can play videos on it. You can obviously Hulu, Netflix. Sometimes when we go on long trips, it's just nice to have something like that. If, my wife is a little bored or my daughter gets a little antsy, wants to see some kind of cartoon, it's just nice. Her seat's in the middle, so I don't have shared TVs in the screen, but it's just nice to have it. All right. Now, as far as my speakers went and the wiring harnesses and all that stuff, there's two types of wiring harnesses out there. All right. I believe they're both made by Metra, but don't quote me on that. All right? I know one at least is made by Metra. That comes with the kit. The second wiring harness out there is a male connector. For some reason, somebody out there decided to make this wiring harness. I don't know why. It is literally, and this was the excuse that I got. This was the reasoning behind this whole wiring harness, was because in case your radio is stolen, and you're talking about the OEM radio, the one that comes from factory, is stolen from your car, you can replace it. I have not heard that in years. Now, I'm not that old, but I remember back when I was a little kid in New York, if they stole your car, it was underneath the BQE. If they stole your radio, somebody had it. I don't know. But anyway, they make that one. It's useless. Obviously, if you're connecting an aftermarket radio to it, it's not going to work. The Metra kit does come with a wiring harness, and once I connected everything and I soldered everything and made sure everything was insulated, everything was good, I noticed that I could only use the power and ground. I still to this day have not found the illumination wire. So literally, if I want to lower the brightness, and you see this is another thing that's really pissing me off. If I want to lower the brightness, I have to do it manually. All right. That's the only way I can lower the brightness and raise it vice versa. So Metro makes a kit. The only thing you can use is the ground and power. Now you have your choices. You can bypass the aftermarket amp, or you can run an amp from the back with all the wires, all that good stuff, and get your speakers performing to their max. Obviously, if you're using stock speakers, it might be a little too much for them, but in my case, I'm using Rockford Fosgate, so I have a pretty good, decent sound. Now I am using the wires from the radio for the speakers, but I'm only using it for the center and the two tweeters that come on the side. And to be honest with you, once I looked down there, I probably could have fit a bigger tweeter, probably like a Pro something. Probably get some better sound. But I mean, I'm using Rockford Fosgate. They're great tweeters. I'm very happy with them. But I'm just saying, if you want to do something bigger, you possibly can, because there's a lot of room down there. All right. Now, you'll probably just have to use the cover to cover it and mount the tweeter underneath that. Obviously, it's not going to touch anything. So that's another thing. So I decided to just run wires from the doors to the amp in the back, and obviously a blue wire to the front. That's what's working for me. That's what I like. The OEM amplifier for the car is behind the glove box. My big ass hands, will type back there. But I mean, if you can reach back there, great. How you bypass it, don't ask me, because I didn't even try. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos on how to bypass an OEM amp, and you'll be able to find that. All right. And that's pretty much it. It's really a simple setup. I'm happy with it. As far as future for the MDX on this channel, don't know. We are up in debate, and we'll see what happens. All right. But we will bring some content to you. I still, we're not only going to work on this car. My father-in-law has a 2014 Toyota Sienna that, it's starting to come up with little things that here things need to be changed. My brother-in-law has a 2009 Honda Accord, which you can actually see on his channel. He is Carlos Orozco, so tune into him. And, obviously his is daily driven, so he needs some things here and there. And we're also going to do some other things, things that I do. Basically the channel is do-it-yourself dad. I come from a family that I make a very good living. However, I'm not the type of person to just go out and say, hey, you do it and I'll pay you. I like having the experience of doing it myself, having the pride of doing it myself, and enjoying the time doing it. So this is an automotive channel. This is also a channel of a lot of other things, which we will get to eventually. But for right now, we're doing things on the MDX. It's a great car, 3.7 liter. If you're looking for a daily driver, these are kind of cheaper now. Obviously, the newer ones are very expensive, but these are very cheap, and they last a very long time. You could probably get, I have 151,000 miles on it, and it still feels brand new. Here and there, obviously, things have to be changed suspension-wise, just to make it smoother. But when it comes to anything else, snow, ice, I live in New York City, so when it snows here, they don't really plow all the streets at once. When it's raining, thank God, everything's been great. Never been slipping, never had any issues. So that's that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really hope that this helped you. For you guys that want to put an aftermarket radio in your 2009 Acura MDX or second generation MDX. At least you can kind of see what it would look like, what a tablet radio would look like. This is the Metro kit. There's another reason why I purchased it, because it swivels around. This is the Metro kit back there. Let's see if we can get back there. You can see it. Okay. They don't make a covey, so you will lose the covey. And then I have a little USB wire coming out, and I have 2 USB wires here that came with it, and they're rolling out through there. And that's that. All right, and it has Bluetooth, so you won't have to use the aux connector in here. That'll all be Bluetooth from there, and you can also mirror it, but that's an app that you do from your phone to here, blah 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 blah. All right guys, see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.